Paul Curtis and Judge Judy in one. A Roseville bride says her wedding reception was a nightmare.
And when the venue refused to respond to her after 3 months of calls and emails, she decided it was time to call Curtis.
Yeah, I guess you could call this one a broken vow. In the 3.5 years we've been doing our Call Curtis program, I have never had a business try to pull one on me like this. Renee and Calvin Lamb's wedding day could have been perfect if they weren't the only ones who danced at the reception, and if the air conditioning worked so guests didn't have to fan themselves with plates and use bottles of ice water to stay cool inside the reception hall.
It felt like a sauna. It was extremely hot.
It was so hot inside the Roseville Opera House that August afternoon, her dad had to apologize to the 170 guests.
Sorry for the heat. They told us they have a brand new air conditioning put in here.
People started leaving and coming up to me and apologizing, saying, you know, I can't take the heat anymore. I gotta go.
And she says calls to the maintenance number went unanswered. Now she wants a refund of some of the $1,400 she paid to rent the hall.
This is my wedding reception, not a birthday party. I can't redo this next year. And they just shrugged their shoulders at me.
We called the owner of the Opera House, Richard Ryan, a number of times and heard back from staffer Rebecca McGill from the Roseville Legal Center, which is on the first floor of the building. She said Renee didn't follow instructions about the air conditioner's timer.
There was nothing ever mentioned to me about a timer.
McGill assured me it was clear in the contract. So I asked her to fax it to me. And here is where we've got problems, because it doesn't match Renee's copy. Stipulation 9 of the contract the Roseville Legal Center sent over involves directions how to use the air conditioning system. But Renee's copy Stipulation 9 is about prohibited items. There's nothing anywhere about the AC. Something else is strange. The Opera House's contract skips from item 10 to 12, but not Renee's contract. One more discrepancy with a contract provided by the Opera House. You see this right here? It's a date and time stamp showing exactly when Renee faxed over the contract. That same date and time stamp is on pages 1, 3, and 4, but not page 2. Could it be that the Opera House actually doctored this contract before sending it to us? Hi, how are you?
I'm fine.
Good. Is Rebecca McGill here?
No, and can you take the camera outside?
Is Richard Ryan here?
Could you take the camera out?
Okay, go ahead. Take the camera out. The woman at the counter kicked us out, refusing to take a message. So we told Renee small claims court could be her best bet.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin.
Yep, Judge Judy took the case.
Order. All rise.
And right away, she zeroed in on that contract. While Rebecca McGill sat silent, Judge Judy looked at the two versions of the contract and pressed the Opera House's Lori Harris.
I want you to take a look at this. Tell me why these two contracts are different.
Yes, they are different.
Why would you fax the reporter a copy of a contract that's different from the one that she was complaining about?
We gave him written instruction. We felt it was the easiest way to communicate with written instruction on how it operates.
Absolutely, but it wasn't in her contract.
No, but he was asking for instruction on how it operates.
It wasn't in her contract. So let me understand what you did. Miss Lamb complained to an investigative reporter for a local television station. You sent him a copy of a contract in which you inserted instructions on how to use the air conditioning. So far, is that correct?
That is correct.
Well, that's outrageous. So far, you're batting 1,000. Did you tell her that the air conditioning was on a 6-hour timer?
Yes.
I don't believe you. Anybody who sends a doctored contract, I don't believe.
The Opera House presented pictures claiming there are clear directions above the air conditioner. But Judge Judy didn't believe that either.
Because this isn't what you sent to the investigative reporter. You sent him a doctored contract. Did you send the reporter this?
No, we didn't.
No. You sent the reporter a doctored contract.
You know, at this point, we felt that the reporter was just harassing us. We had...
And with that came a ruling.
Ms. Harris, you did the wrong thing. And you did the wrong thing when you tried to perpetrate a fraud by submitting a contract that you knew was not the contract that she signed. Wrong thing. You owe her $1,400, and you would have been much smarter to pay her the $1,400 and stay away from me. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,400. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
outside the courtroom, the Opera House reacted.
I'm not happy. We felt we were dealing with a bridezilla.
Renee disputes that. Although her wedding didn't go as planned, she won't let a reception cut short ruin her memories.
I had an awesome wedding, and I may not be able to take it and rewind it and play it back, but it was still the best day of my life.
Well, it was never established who at the Opera House doctored that contract. By the way, the owner, Richard Ryan, who never called us back, is a former judge in Placer County himself. We learned he was removed from the bench in the 1980s after the Supreme Court of California ruled he abused his power. We have no evidence to show he instructed anybody to change the contract. If you want to see the two versions of the contract, I posted them on our website, CBS13.com. Just open the story.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah, we haven't had one like that before.
I don't even have any words for you. I'm
It
just
is.
aghast.
It does. It just leaves you speechless.
It really does.
And
Wow,
Judge
Curtis.
Judy was so right. You should have just paid the $1,400 and stayed away from her.
Well, do you want to watch that show now? We only had a couple excerpts from that show, but if you want to watch this episode of Judge Judy, set your DVRs. It airs Monday night on CW 31 at 5:30, and then Monday at 10, we go behind the scenes. After our case went before her, we flew to Hollywood and went behind the scenes of the show and see what happens when I go one-on-one with Judge Judy herself. Do you ever watch the show and go, maybe I was a little too harsh on that person? Maybe I should have given them the benefit of the doubt. Hear her answer. I also spent some time with her bailiff Bird. He commutes from Elk Grove. Hear how he got that job. You can catch it all Monday night right here only on the CBS 13 News at 10. And if you have a consumer problem you can't solve, maybe we can call the hotline, or you can always go to CBS13.com, click on Call Curtis, and fill out our form. Dave?
Thank you, Curtis.